We are live. Shark Week 2, the revenge continues. It is a mega hangout tonight. It is RobFuz. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for coming and joining us for Shark Week. We've had a blast this week. I don't know if you saw last night on DizneyDan's channel. We went 2 hours, not 1, but 2 hours on just Disney sharks. So that's the kind of fun we're having this week. We've had a blast. Thank you so much, guys. Definitely, please check out my partner channels. Please check out my power channels. They're all listed below. And we're just having so much fun with Shark Week. Thank you guys for joining us. And don't forget, all our burps today are sponsored by D&G Explorers. Derek from D&G Explorers, I believe, and maybe Gregory, they're going to be joining us in a little bit. But we have a bunch of cool YouTubers here already, so they were joining us. So it is a mega hangout. I don't think we're going to break the record tonight, but we have a lot of great, solid people here. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Back from work. He was working hard all day. It's Adam. Adam's Land. What's going on, brother? How you doing? This is your second Jaws. Well, technically your third Jaws show with me. So welcome, man. How you doing? I like the glasses. I can read your screen. It's awesome.
It means nobody can read my eyes.
It's so funny.
This is how hard my day has been. Terrible, obviously. Hey, everybody.
That's Adam.
Yeah, this is me. This is not pub talk. No, you're right. This is not pub talk. This is obviously the mega hangout, which I have had a mega day in London. So yeah. It's probably best I keep these on.
Yeah, let me go say hi to everyone else. Here, Bob from Bob and Ashley. What's up, brother? My partner channel. Adam's my partner channel too. But what's going on? How you doing, Bob? What's up, buddy? I miss you. How you been, man?
Doing good. How about you guys?
Always has an amazing hat. What's going on? Let me see the hat. It's just the Under Armour hat. I love that.
The Under Armour hat with the
hats. He always has that certain type he loves. I love it. That isn't one day I want to stream just on your hat collection, Bob.
I had these two just in case I had to switch.
I love it. Wait, hold on. Let me see. You know my favorite hat too.
Under Armour, and this is the one that Mark Cordy's gave me from the Real Cats from Indiana.
Very nice.
Pretty
cool.
Like it. And then the rest are
nice.
There.
Nice. And I love that Star Wars one. That's my favorite one. So
I like the Star Wars one, but it looks weird. It goes kind of like to a point for some reason. I don't know why it did that.
All right.
So I don't want everybody to think I have a pointed head.
I never thought that. So. Very nice.
I did wonder about the point.
See, that's what I was worried about that.
Too funny. Of course, we have Dave from Brandy Dave. He's been here all week. Thank you so much, Dave. What's going on, brother?
What is up?
He was complaining he wasn't posting vlogs, and I said, "Get to work." He's like, "I've been on your channel all week."
Exactly.
So thank you so much, Dave. That was awesome. It was cracking
It's
up.
all good, man. It's all good. It's been fun. It's been a heck of a week of live streaming craziness. Not nearly as crazy as one of our other guests who's in the middle of a 72-day straight live stream. So I hear.
Who's that? This guy here?
Yeah.
Steve?
Yeah.
Steve's on a mission. I was on a mega tour a couple weeks ago, but Steve is putting me to shame, so he's unbelievable. So
it's been a little rough, but it's
we'll get to you, sir.
Yeah.
So welcome, Dave. Thank you so much. Arnie from Pepper Tree Villa. What's going on, brother? How you been? What's going on?
Sup? Just hanging with you guys.
Very nice. I am on Arnie's channel tonight. I am on Pepper Tree Villa. I believe Steve's there, and Shep and Dole Whip Dad. We are going to be on talking about our Disney mementos we collect. I think that was the topic tonight.
Yeah,
I better start collecting stuff. My collectibles and stuff.
Your most treasured collectibles, maybe not the most valuable, but the most treasured.
Okay, I don't have that many, but I could hold my own though, so I could show some stuff. So I've showed a lot of my stuff on stream already, but I don't care. I want to be on anyway. So thank you so much for inviting me, Arnie. Pepper Tree Villa, blowing up over there. They're awesome. Great channel. Definitely check out all these channels. Of course, you froze up a little. Steve's World. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Hanging in there, man. How are you?
Good, man. What is this, stream 58 of the week? Yeah, Dave was right. It was
this is 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. And then I'll have 5 tonight, 6 Saturday, 7 Sunday, 8 Monday, and 9 Wednesday.
Though he wasn't with us last night.
I wasn't. I had a softball game.
Where were you last night, Stephen?
I had a softball game, unfortunately.
He was busy.
So I would have much rather been here.
Shedding those pounds. You're looking great, man. I'm so proud of you. You're doing good. And of course, Yoda is holding the shark for Shark Week. Thank you so much, Yoda, in the back with the ears there. I love that shark back there. He is awesome. Definitely check out Steve's World. All these guys right here, Adam's Land, Bob and Ashley. We got Brandy and Dave, Pepper Tree Villa, and Steve's World. All the links are below. Please check out these channels. All great guys. And just check out their channels. And they did this and that last night. It's Shep, Zippity Doodad, Dave, and Steve's World. They did packing tips for Disney World. That was amazing. Great stream last night. Last week, if you haven't seen, they did Toy Story. It's a great Toy Story stream. You definitely got to go check out all their channels and this and that's on all 4 of their channels. So it's such a fun stream. It was a good stream last night. It was a lot of fun. So it was money.
That was a lot of fun last night.
Dave,
I
was
did
that stream money?
What's that?
It was stream money. It was money.
It was
Good.
money.
What were you saying, Adam?
I was just saying last night was a lot of fun. I didn't think it could get as fun as it did. I was convinced that we were going into a stream for 10 minutes, not
we're talking about the DizneyDan's Disney Shark stream. Yeah, that was just so much
Disney
fun.
Shark stream. I thought it was like a 10-minute stream, not a 2-hour and 10-minute stream. It became ridiculous. It became hilarious. It was good. So yeah, go check it out.
Very cool. Yeah, he switched subject, but that's all right. So what's going on, Dave? What's up, everyone? Today's topic is Jaws, of course, one of my favorite all-time movies. We've talked about Jaws before. We've had streams about Jaws before, but I wanted to get a mega hangout here. I think we're having a couple more people. I don't know where Dan is. He's on his way, I hope. And I know Derick, DG Explorers are coming, and I believe Walt from Mouse Talk's coming. And Arnie's got to go a little early because he's got to get ready for his stream too. So let's start with Arnie. Arnie, what do you think? What do you tell us about Jaws? You could talk. We're talking about Jaws the movie. We covered the sequels on Tuesday. I don't think I can go there anymore. But what do you think about Jaws?
Okay, I remember when that movie came out in the theater.
Which is awesome. That's what I wanted to hear from you.
Okay, yeah.
So tell us what it was like when it just came out for the first time. Because I was young. You're a little bit older than me, but I was a little. I was younger. I was about 6, 7 around there when it came out. So, as a little kid, scared the bejesus at me. But I think you were a little older then. Tell us about when it came out.
I was about 10, 11 years old when it came out, and I'll tell you, it scared the bejesus out of everyone. I mean, and living in California, you're always going to the beach or down to the bay or whatever like that in the San Francisco Bay Area. So you're exposed to the water a lot, and you've got this irrational fear that some shark is going to jump out of the water and bite you. Especially when a movie comes out like that, and all you hear is that music, and you just go running.
Did they do a lot of merchandising and stuff around the movie? Hold on.
Excuse me, what happened there?
Adam, you right?
Yeah, it was the way it was, you just go running, and then you went. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if you were like, yes, I agree, or no. So yeah, it just cracked me up. So
no, it's a little bits about like we're going to need a bigger boat. All the jokes that were in there as well. It made an impression. Like I said, I was just a little kid, and I saw the movie. I remember on cable, and it scared me. But all I had to do was just hear the music, and people were scared. It's just one of those things. Certain things make an impression on you for the rest of your life. That was definitely one of those movies that did.
It sure did. I was afraid to go in the water for a long time. I still kind of afraid to go in the water. So I don't know.
Kidding. I walked through ankle deep water, and a piece of kelpit's made my leg, and I go running the other direction.
Yeah. So you're in California. I assume you've been to Universal Studios a lot and seen the Jaws attraction there.
Yep. I remember the blood hitting the water.
Do you remember the orca on the water there, the original boat? Do you know about that story?
Oh yeah. The original boat was there. I remember seeing that.
Until Universal decided to take it away, and Spielberg went mental about it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He did. Totally went mental about it.
Yeah.
I've seen so many stories where he would, it was his first movie. I think he was in his late 20s, and when he's on the studio lot and everything, just to get away from things, he would just go and hang out on the boat. And then one day,
he used to just go and sit there, didn't he? And then one day he arrived, and the boat was gone, and he was like, "What's happened to it?" They said they got rid of it, and he was not a happy guy, understandably. Although he did say later on it did him a favor because it allowed him to move on to other things. which he said he didn't feel he could possibly do. I think he was still loving his Jaws success a bit much while he was going and sitting on the orca. So he did say it did him a favor that they got rid of it. But at the time, he wasn't happy.
Kind of like a love-hate relationship, yeah.
Yeah.
Bob, what's your impressions of Jaws growing up?
Well, I grew up in New Smyrna Beach, so as you know, it's the shark bite capital of the world. And growing up surfing and just being out in the ocean, there wasn't one time when you went out in the water that somebody didn't do the theme from Jaws, the dun it. So it was always a running joke. And I've had friends bit by sharks and seen so many sharks that it was never out of my mind. So yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. I actually stopped surfing when I was, I think, 19 because my friend almost had his knee bit off.
Wow.
By a bull shark.
I forgot to ask Adam, who's in the chat there? He's looking at the chat. What's
just 1 second, because Dan has just messaged me. I can't repeat exactly what he said because, but to condense it down, it says, "Oh, I fell asleep." There's other words in the middle, but yeah, cool. Yeah. So he fell asleep. So I'm just saying, get on now. We've only just started. So yeah. So I'm just sending that to him. Anyway, over to the YouTube chat. We have Grace. Welcome, Grace. We have It's Joey's World. Nathan Reds. It's Joey's World again. Ruth. Hey, Ruth K. Welcome. It's Joey's World. It's Joey's World. It's Joey's World. Molly. Hey, Molly. How you doing? Disney World Freak. Disney Circus Girl. Who else have we got? Some dude named Bob and Ashley. Welcome. I know you're in here. Noah. Hey, dude. How you doing? Let's keep on going. D&G Explorers, the sponsors of the burps.
As you burp, you just burped and said their name. I love that.
No, I didn't. I wanted to burp. Okay. Yeah. Joseph Andrews. Welcome, Joseph. How you doing, buddy? Let's keep on going. Kyle from Kyle's Vlog. I'm going to keep on scrolling. I'm not going to say anybody else's name. Oh, Jack Sandy Claus Logan. Hey, Jack Sandy Claus Logan. That's not the easiest to read when you've had a skinful of beer. Juan Rodriguez. Hey, dude. How you doing? And Steve's World obviously is in the stream anyway. So, yes, I think I've covered everybody. Oh, Aerial Adventure. Is that like the Little Mermaid Ariel, or is that a different Ariel? Yeah. So, and Dougie from Waltergrams obviously posted before, but he did say he's going to miss it because he's pure knackered, which is a British saying, which means you're tired.
Hanging out with you? Oh, okay.
For everyone, enjoy. Oh, Dreamers Empire as well. Dreamers Empire has just come in. Welcome.
That's Dean. Welcome. So he was trying to come before.
So yeah, welcome, Dean. Yep. So I think that's covered. Everybody. Hey, guys.
Okay, welcome, everyone. Of course, speaking of Steve's World, my man, how's it going, buddy?
And Dan says he's on his way, by the way.
Okay, no problem.
It's going fantastic, man. I mean, just hanging out with some friends, enjoying a Thursday night. What else could I be doing?
Very cool. So tell us about what you think about Jaws?
So I was a sheltered child, and I was born after Jaws came out. So the scariest movie I saw till I was 21 years old was Jurassic Park.
Okay, that's pretty intense.
And I saw Jaws in that era, and it scared the crap out of me. So I did not like going to the ocean after that. So, and I started researching sharks can swim up into 3 feet of water, and I did my homework, and I make sure I'm in less than 3 feet of water. So, but if you are near a Jaws shark, you got to stay back farther because they can jump out of the water and get you.
But they do it horizontally, so
they can and levitate. They can levitate too. Levitate. So yeah, I generally stay away from the ocean. Mostly because if I'm on vacation, I'm going to Disney anyways. But I try to stay away from the ocean.
Good call. Although I do love the ocean, but it is crazy. So. All right, so let's dive into the movie, though. Martha's Vineyard, that's where they filmed it. I don't know. The movies, before the stream, Steve was saying, go ahead, Steve, tell me what you were saying before the stream about how you feel about Jaws today.
I was just saying, it was revolutionary for its time period. And I really think that if they took the same everything and put it in today, I just don't think the movie would be very successful. With all the
think
special,
Spielberg has said that himself. Spielberg,
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was one of those home runs that came out at, because realistically, it's like Jaws 2, in my opinion. I didn't see much difference between the cinematography and the storyline and anything between Jaws 1 and Jaws 2, except that Spielberg wasn't directing it. But
I think, having watched them both and reviewed Jaws 2 this week, there's a little bit more ridiculousness in Jaws 2. But
Yeah.
I get what you're
story,
saying.
but
Jaws 2 is far more akin to Jaws than
Exactly.
say, Jaws 3 and Jaws
Yeah.
Revenge.
And I mean, it didn't do well at all. I mean, it did well money-wise. It made like $208 million, but it did not stand the test of time, whereas Jaws 1 somehow has. And I think it's just because it was the original. It was again, for whatever it was, 1970, what was it?
Five
75?
was
1975. It was iconic for 1975 to be able to see a great white shark come out of the water and eat people. But today, you'd have to do a whole. I mean, people have tried today with the Meg and Into the Blue and all these other ones, and they just haven't succeeded like Jaws did for its time period. So I just don't think it would be as popular if it hadn't come out later.
I agree.
I think Sharknado's come close, though.
He said that. I thought he had a straight face, and it was.
Yeah.
We're gonna have fun tonight, Arnie. That's fun. Too funny. I might Shanghai your stream and start talking about sharks. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Dave, my man, tell us about what was your impressions of Jaws growing up?
Well, Jaws is the reason that I am as interested in sharks as I am. It's also the reason that I get extremely apprehensive going into the ocean. Still to this day, I will, but it's not my favorite place to go. Just leave it at that. But I remember watching it as a young kid. You know, at that point, you really don't know completely what's going on, but you just know that there's a big shark that levitates. Or it didn't levitate at that point. But you know, you appreciated the special effects for what they were. And then as you watch it as you get older, you start to appreciate the nuances. I really don't know if I agree with the statement that it wouldn't have hit if it was made now. I think it's difficult to say because you can't compare it to the stuff that's out there because, frankly, Deep Blue Sea was just junk in general.
But look at the Meg. I think the Meg tried to be semi-serious.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but the way I interpreted all of the trailers was that it wasn't taking itself too seriously.
There was an element of comedy in it, but I think it wanted to be serious as well, and that's the thing.
Got it.
I think Jaws, the way it was shot, gives you the horror that it needs. You know, to be as scary as it is. You know, it's something under the sea that you can't see unless you happen to be a deep sea diver.
Right.
It's the beauty of it is you never actually see the shark coming. You know, and I don't think. I agree with the whole statement that it wouldn't have been as successful if it was shot today.
Well, if they would have used practical effects like they did back then, it might. Yeah. 'Cause everything now is just special effects, and it's just not the same.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been anywhere near as effective. But I mean, I appreciate your idea that it may have been just as successful.
Never know.
Even at that time, I remember the special effects with the shark. The shark rarely worked right. And when they did, they had to act fast to get those camera angles right, because any of the camera angles, that's one of the reasons why the shark was barely in the film at times, because they changed the focus to just the intensity and the image that the shark may be right there rather than the actual shark.
That's right. That's the beauty of the documentary. The Shark is Working, named because the shark was never working, you know, and so they had to change so much stuff, you know, and you hear the beauty of that documentary at the beginning. The shark is not working. The shark is not working. You know, as they go to take every single shot, the shark is not working, and then eventually it's the shark is working. The shark is working, and the excitement on their voices as they announce the shark is working. It's a beautiful documentary. If you've not seen it, The Shark is Working. Please watch it if you're a fan of Jaws, because it just answers so many questions, and it is amazing to watch. Rob will back me up on that, I guess.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Richard Dreyfuss is in it a lot. Sorry, Spielberg's in it. It's a really good movie. And even if you saw in cheesy fashion, I repeated last year's Shark Week, and it was Adam, Brandon, and I. And I remember watching it, and even last year we were talking about they used those yellow barrels a lot because they couldn't show the shark
because they didn't have the shark working. Yeah, that was the whole point of bringing in the yellow barrels, because they didn't have a shark. So that was written into the story, not because it was in there originally, but because they had nothing to show and they had to keep on filming. They had to keep the production rolling. So it was like, what are we going to do? Let's attach yellow barrels to the shark to bring it to the surface. Let's bring it into the story. Let's incorporate it, and we'll just use these to and those yellow barrels bring out half of the horror. It's great. You see a yellow barrel.
It works.
Yeah. Oh, it works
so well.
Yeah. It's such a good moment.
It's the suspense of the unknown.
It is, because you've still not seen other than that moment where Brody's obviously kind of screwing at Quint and Hooper. Why don't you come down and jump on some of this, and then obviously the shark hits. It's the first time you've seen it 3/4 of the way through the movie or 2/3 of the way through the movie, and he delivers that "you're going to need a bigger boat" line, which is ad-libbed as well. It's easily one of the best lines in movie history. It's funny. People know that I work in indie movies myself, and I met up with my my director and co-worker for our indie picture company at Christmas. We went out for a Christmas meal because we hadn't met up in a couple of months, and we decided to go for a meal. We were hungry. We'd driven a long way to meet each other. We decided to order half the menu each because we were that hungry. And the waiter came over and he looked at us, and as he was taking the order, he went, "You're going to need a bigger table." And instantly the pair of us yeah, we were like, just going back to the Jaws thing. It was a great moment. We were like, yes, because we were both huge fans of Jaws. So yeah, "You're going to need a bigger boat." Best line in a movie ever, I think.
It is great.
So, yes, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to think. It really is. Just trying to think. Like, my brain is just Universal betting on Spielberg. I think it was his third film, right, Adam? Something like that.
Nope, his second
film.
Yeah, he'd done one other, and that was it. But that one other wasn't a successful movie. This was his defining movie to get his career off the ground. He was a bit of an unknown quantity. It was a gamble, and he basically created the blockbuster. There was no other summer blockbuster before this. Jaws 1975 was the start of the summer blockbuster. Wow. Thank you, Spielberg. So yeah, there we go.
It's funny because as a kid, I love Spielberg, and researching him and knowing about him and learning about him. He used to sneak on the lot at Universal Studios. He would just go in and that's how he learned how to make movies and stuff. He would just sneak on the lot and kind of help out and do stuff and everything. And he was just an amazing director. And I wish I was a fly on the wall to see how he got in there, how he made the movie, how they believed in him.
Well, he didn't shoot it at Universal. That's the thing as well.
Right,
he didn't shoot it at the studios. It was shot very guerrilla. It was shot in Martha's Vineyard, as you said earlier, and it was shot in the Atlantic Ocean. So they actually shot it in the Atlantic Ocean, which I didn't know until last year when I watched the documentary. I always thought there was a lot of tank usage at a studio. I didn't realize that it was shot purely in the ocean. So that's you can understand. I mean, the problems they had, obviously, to get the shark working, the problems they must have had logistically out at sea anyway, and then to do everything they did, and you look at that movie and like we've kind of said this week, and we'll probably continue to say this week, last year, next year, whatever. It's still the definitive shark movie that stands the test of time. No other movie seems to live up to it, try as they may, and given all the logistical problems that they had in shooting it out at sea, you can't help but take your hat off to the guy. So
it also set the standard for the summer blockbuster. There were really no other films before this that really said, okay, this is when we're going to release that movie. This is going to make billions of dollars. It's going to be in the summer.
Yeah.
Jaws set the standard.
Agree.
Definitely did. what was the final take? $470 million that movie made. I don't know, Steve. I think I don't know. It's just
It only cost $9 million to make too, and I think Jaws 2 cost like I want to say $55 million, somewhere in that range. So they put a whole lot more into the other ones, and I think can't remember, like they were all up there, and I think they were all higher in the budget than Jaws was, and it just somehow Jaws has stood the test. It's a fantastic movie. I'm not saying it's not by any means.
yeah, it just seems like back then they didn't really have a choice. The CGI, the animation, everything. You saw even Jaws 3, Jaws 4. You know, like especially the stupid cheesy 3D graphics and everything. It was just what's up, Derick? How you doing? Welcome, man. How you doing? Welcome, DG Explorers, our sponsor, my man channel. Here we go.
Just an update on
Billy,
Dan.
Billy.
Dan won't be joining us tonight, unfortunately. He's forgot to take his webcam with him. He's out of town at the moment. So yeah, he's apologized and sent regards.
Okay. Well, welcome, Derick. Well, we have Derick. You're I guess you'll be Dan stunt double. So one thing I know about Derick, welcome to the stream, Derick. I know Derick is petrified of sharks. I don't know how much you want to talk about it. I don't know if you want me to even bring it up. The floor is yours, Derick. Welcome to the stream. I like your shirt, by the way. Dilly.
Thank you. This was
Dilly,
made by
Dilly,
Jim.
Dilly.
This is another Jim special.
Jim
We
is
had,
awesome.
yes, Dilly. It all started back. I actually saw Jaws in the movie theater in Ipswich, England. That's back when I lived in England. So I remember going to a theater in Ipswich and terrified of the movie. I couldn't swim, so that made it even worse. I didn't learn to swim till I was probably about 14 years old. So that made it even worse to know that there's creatures out there that want to eat you. And I remember going to a place in Cornwall called Polzeth. And we were out there on the beach. I had a broken arm. And I remember going along, they had like a little cliff with rocks. And there was a bunch of seaweed in there. And the seaweed, it gave it a look of blood was in the water. So this is back in 1977. So I was about 10 years old. And the lifeguard said, shark, gave a shark warning, everyone out of the water. And we were going to go straight up the rocks, but they were jagged. We would have cut ourselves. And here I am. I'm bawling because we're walking through the seaweed. And I'm thinking there's a shark. There's probably, 200 people on the beach. I'm going to be the one that they eat. And ever since then, I've been terrified of sharks. My 3 fears are sharks, bridges, and clowns. And I always say the day I meet my end, I'm going to be crossing over a bridge. I'm going to see a clown on that bridge. I'm going to swerve. I'm going to go over the bridge and get eaten by a shark. So I know. I'm already writing my obituary.
That's
Don't
amazing.
go over any bridges,
Right.
is what you're saying.
That would be a heck of a way to go out.
Who else laughed? So I know I'm not the only bad guy here. So.
I did.
You said it before we could laugh, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, this is I must have been harrowing, but yeah, that's a very cool story though. It must have been harrowing, but and I understand it. I've been out at sea further than I probably should have been, maybe on the coast of Florida in Tampa, and I remember sort of realizing at one point how far out I was, and it was terrifying because your mind wanders. The greatest thing is the human mind and how far it can wander itself. So when you're suddenly further out than you maybe should be, and you realize it's going to take a long while to swim back in, and obviously you got the tide and everything to struggle against, and then you think, there's things under this water that I'm not going to see. It is terrifying. So that's a great story that you just regaled.
Yeah, I'll never forget. I'm pretty positive that I was just too young when it came out. So, but I did see I think they re-released it, and you've seen it all the different times, and it's kind of like such a summer standard. I literally watch. I haven't watched it this year yet, but I literally watch it every single summer. I love it.
To the horror that it needs, to be as scary as it is.
Sorry,
I'm
guys.
replay.
I'm hearing myself.
It's okay. I was like, wow, Adam is a stunt double.
I thought Adam turned
But,
into a
but
robot.
How much?
I'm pretty positive that I've seen. You know where I saw it, which is bizarre, which is kind of cool. I'm proud of this. That we saw it at a drive-in. I got to see it at a drive-in, so I thought that was kind of cool that I actually got to see it there. But I always see, and who would do this? Now, I'm going to ask everyone. I always see that like they have them. They always have these showings on like a lake where you sit, or like I guess you can't watch it in the ocean, but they always have it on water or big pool or a lake or anything. Who would actually go see this movie? I know Derick won't. So.
I've seen photos of that, and you don't get that in the UK because we're just not fortunate enough with the weather. Like that, you'd expect Floridian temperatures, or I know California or something like that, to be able to enjoy a movie on some sort of floaty device, watching a movie like that. I would love to do that. I would absolutely.
Of course you would.
It was always like the thing where you used to sit there and watch Arachnophobia, and guaranteed by the end of the movie, your feet would be up on the couch with you. You wouldn't be sat there. It would have the same effect with Jaws. You'd be sat there on the water, floating about, and sure enough, 2/3 of the way through the movie, you'd probably be slowly paddling yourself back to shore, going, I need to go, get out of this water. So yeah, it'd be amazing to do that. I'd love to do that.
I don't think it would take me 2/3 of the film to do that.
So the opening scene, guys, Chrissy going to Skinny Dip. They're drunk. They're on the beach and everything. I always had issues, be honest with you. I've always had issues with water and night because of this opening scene. Anyone want to talk about the opening scene with Chrissy going in? Very iconic. It's been parodied many times. In the movie 1941, they re-parodied it. Do you know about that, guys? Chrissy came back in Spielberg's movie. Didn't do that great with Belushi. The movie 1941, she came back and reprised her role. Chrissy, the actual diver, came back, and she's in that movie too. She has a cameo in there, so it's kind of cool. But
that was a great movie.
I love it.
Such an underplayed scene as well, because or such an understated scene. But so powerful as well. It's fantastic because it's just it's the opening to a movie. Traditional horrors, you always get something that starts and then bam, something happens just to set the scene straight away. And this is no different, obviously. But it's so powerful because you don't see what is happening. She's just swimming. She's having a great time. She's trying to call, what's the guy's name? I can't remember the guy. And she's like, come on, the water's great. She's having a great time. Come on. And then that's it, and then she screams a little bit. He's passed out because he's leathered, a little bit like me right now. And then, and
going to the water.
And then it's game over, and it's such an iconic scene. I love that scene.
I think that scene set the whole movie up.
Yes,
it did.
Because it made you want to see the shark. If they showed the shark then, the movie might not have the same punch all the way through.
You don't see the shark until I did when I was in school. I was a communications major, and I did an editing thing on Jaws, and I actually analyzed it. I actually tried to find how many times, not find, but I did a little parody piece myself, and I took the movie. I was looking for the shark footage. There really isn't much shark footage at all in that movie. Like we said, there were so many different difficulties and everything. So I think you finally see the movie like 45 minutes. You see the shark 45 minutes into the movie or something like that. But go ahead, Bob. Tell us a little more about that opening scene. Did that ever?
So
I think it was a good scene.
I'm just reading Kay Atwood's comment in the chat. She says, my most terrifying experience was at a lake. My 3 friends floating in an inner tube. A snake had popped up. You have 3 teenage girls in one tube trying to paddle in different directions and not moving.
That's crazy.
That happened to us.
That's pretty funny.
That's amazing.
I just think, Rob, that was a great scene.
Yeah,
it had you the rest of the movie. That's that one scene right there.
They come back.
Like he said, you're going to need a bigger boat. I think that scene's just as iconic as that line.
It's a great opener. It is a fantastic opener.
Roy Scheider, Robert Shaw, Richard Dreyfuss, they're just such amazing characters. Of course, Quint is just such a cool character. He's they have the bounty. They're all trying to go find the shark. They send all these people out. They're all trying to look. They're all like a suicidal mission to get like this shark. There's like a reward posted. after like a kid was killed. I think the mother posts a reward right at him. Was that the deal?
What's that? Sorry.
And then
yeah.
There's like a bounty if they kill this shark and everything. And so what do?
Yeah.
They go get this crazy man named Quint, who just does shark.
Well, before Quint does it, like Quint sets his price, and they turn him down, don't they? Because they think they can do it themselves. They obviously send out all the townspeople, played by real people from Martha's Vineyard, and obviously they catch a shark that they think is the shark. It's not the shark, and that's obviously where Hooper comes in, and obviously, yeah, it's
This shark would be 3 times.
They do
Sorry.
what?
Nothing. I forget the line. I forget the line. It popped in and then left my head.
Dave, talk about Jaws a little, Dave. I love your opinion on movies.
Well, there's a shark in it. Oh. No, so it was.
I'm talking about the wrong film then.
Yeah, exactly. It was such a good slow burn to get to where you wanted to, right? Like it was, oh, we caught a shark, but that's not it, right? I mean, it was such a setup for the end of the movie to third act, whatever you film buffs talk about. But at any rate, I mean, there's so many iconic scenes in it. Them in the lab, if you will, talking about stuff before they go out. Obviously, the boat kitchen, let's drink whiskey and get drunk and then fight a shark the next day, which frankly should be a pastime in New England. I think that's a thing, or could be eventually.
Like,
no, can we get Zip in here? Because that sounds like something he would do. Just say, to go fight a shark.
I'll do it.
Nice. I like it.
You think Patrick would go after a shark for the bounty? I think he would. He would pack his 52 Disney shirts. He'd go out on the boat.
Yeah, exactly.
He'd get PJ. PJ, I need a beer. So he'll get the beer
For a shark.
Yes, he'll go get the shark. I think he would. He lives up in the area. He's game. I think Patrick would do it. So.
I'm telling you.
So keep going, Dave. I like this. Go ahead.
This
is good.
And then you get the I don't know, they're basically big barrels, right? And they're shoot all these barrels into the back of Jaws, which is a shark. And then the barrels disappear and they're like, what happened? And I never understood how the shark got the barrels off of him. Has that bothered anyone else ever?
What's that? Sorry, say again.
Okay, so they're trying to track the shark, right? So they harpoon, whatever you want to call it, crossbow 2 or 3 barrels that it's dragging, right? So you can tell where the shark is. And then the shark drags him underwater.
Yeah.
And then it's gone. And there's a nice, quiet shot. And then all of a sudden, something pops out of the water, and it's just the barrels.
Yep.
How did the shark get rid of the barrels?
Another shark came and ate him.
Was it okay? Maybe.
I don't think it does, because the barrels are there, and then obviously he still attacks the boat. It's the barrels are always there.
But are they always attached to him? Have I just not paid that much attention?
I think they are, at least right up until the end. I think they are. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they mysteriously disappear at the end. I never thought of that though.
There may be a scene where they disappear, and maybe that's a continuity error.
Right.
I don't think there's anything in the story that says they go, and I need to rewatch it now to see where they stop appearing. But I'm pretty sure they're pretty much constantly there.
I feel like there's a spot where the barrels pop up out of the water close to the boat, after they have been taken far, far away from the boat.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they pop up and then the shark comes up afterwards. Again, I haven't watched it in years, but it always bothered me.
That's the difference between this year and last year. Last year, I watched the movie twice and watched the documentary before we went live. Whereas this year, I went to London and drank copious amounts of alcohol.
You're busy watching the sequels this week.
So yeah. So good luck.
So hashtag good luck, bro.
Yeah.
Right?
Hashtag money.
Yes.
Too funny.
And I always wanted to know how far out they were, and I really wanted to know how they swam the entire way.
You could always see the beach in the distance. That's the thing. You could always.
Could
see
you?
the beach. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think. Well, for the most part, yeah. Depending on which way they were facing, but certainly when the Orca is sank, you can see the beach in the distance. So yeah, they're never that far out at sea.
I always wondered what the deal was with that too. How far out?
And that
they were.
follows on nicely in Jaws 2 as well. That they're not that far out when in Jaws 2 you can see that those divers have gone looking for the Orca, and obviously the police deputy is asked to go and investigate it. They're not that far out.
Interesting.
Swimming in, yes, it would have been a challenge. They were probably exhausted by the end of it, but
See, again, maybe it just goes back to like childhood watching this. I feel like they were like 30 miles off the coast and then they swam it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like it could have just been, those memories never went away, right? You just always made that assumption. But
I'm guessing they were no more than a mile out, if that. Cool. Yeah. That's a guess. That's a guess.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to tear it apart because I think it's a fantastic movie. I'm just saying. I know we touched on this the other day, when we were talking about Jaws 2, but the USS Indianapolis story was awesome.
Yes.
One of my favorite parts of the movie.
Such a powerful moment. It's the best monologue in a film that I can think of. Like, just it's so eerie, because the whole atmosphere just changes for that one scene. It's such a high spirited moment. They're comparing scars and whatever, and then he goes into that moment, and it's a beautifully delivered monologue because it's harrowing. And yeah,
and I think the contrast and the disparity between the literally the second before he starts that story, like you said, is such a high, and then this is just like, something bad could happen tomorrow. It was so great, so impressive. Love that. I always loved the scene. And is it the first time you see the shark whenever Scheider's there, or Brody's there? I guess I should use his in movie name.
And
he's chumming.
Yeah.
That's the first time you see the shark, right?
Yes, it is.
First time you see
Officially.
the shark. Officially.
Yes.
It's such a fantastic moment.
Yes.
He's like this, he's throwing, and then you see it over like his shoulder, and he like pops up. It's such a great shot. And then the shot on the beach where they pull that focus, like that's such another great shot too.
Yeah.
We used the GIF on the chat room the other day. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
So Derick, have you gone back and seen this movie? Have you watched it once and never watched it again? I'm just curious.
No, I've watched a lot of the movies, shark movies. I saw Meg. I watch them. I might not have my feet on the ground while I'm watching them, but I watch them. I have seen it a couple times. I like the movie as long as I'm not near water. I would never watch it in a lake or out in the ocean if they have a special feature. But some
Derick,
of the things
it doesn't matter if whether you're near the water or not, because we learned after Jaws 4 that sharks will follow you.
Doesn't matter. Does not matter.
Yeah.
That's probably I don't remember seeing that one, so I don't know if I saw that one. But no, I'll watch them. The things that I remember with Jaws though is the poster. I remember that with the big old shark on it. That's always iconic for me. And I don't know if I'm creating this scene, but for some reason I'm thinking when the girl is out there swimming at night, which probably got my huge fear of it. Even in pools, I would be scared to swim at night. Is for some reason I see her. Do they shoot it from underneath her looking up?
They do, yeah. They
that,
do.
I think there is a shot, yeah.
And I think that's what really got me, because then you never know what's looking at you, and you can't see what's under there. So that's sorry, my cat's trying to get. Where are you going, girl?
Is your cat named Jaws by any chance? Or?
No,
Okay.
it's Sierra.
Oh, hey, Sierra.
Jaws the cat.
But
Jaws, but
yeah, I'll watch a lot of different things, and I've seen Jaws a couple times. I would watch it again. In fact, I was asking Greg, do we have it anywhere, and he said no. I was going to watch it on Netflix, so I'm thinking about buying the video just to kind of see it, because I love the way Spielberg does the filming. And if I remember right, weren't they having problems with the shark? So that's one of the reasons why they didn't show it as much. And I think that worked out perfect, because that anticipation of not really knowing what's there, I think added to that fear of the movie.
That was definitely the key. We were saying earlier before you got here, there's a movie called The Shark is Working, and it's a really good movie. So watch Jaws, and then watch that documentary. Yeah, it's a documentary about it. And I'll hook you up with that, Derek. Don't worry. I think it's a really good documentary. Definitely going to see it. But yeah, that's two great points, Derek. You brought up the poster, so iconic. Just like literally, they've used that same exact shark coming out of the water. All three movies, all three posters, all four movies. Sorry, the shark coming up, and it's been parodied so many times. Like Alfred E. Newman on Mad Magazine, like Time Magazine, like everyone parodied that shark, and the T-shirts and everything. Was there, guys? Was there big marketing with the T-shirts, Arnie or Derek? You remember as kids? Did they have the
poster was huge. It was everywhere.
Oh, did they have like T-shirts and marketing? There wasn't much to market. What are you gonna like? It wasn't like a Star Wars, I guess, but which came 2 years later. But I guess I think Jaws set the scene for Star Wars. You know, it kind of like, all right, what's next? Jaws was huge. They didn't anticipate it big. They kept rolling it out in more theaters and everything. They made the anticipation for people to travel. They only put it in a certain amount of theaters. They would make people travel and talk about it and everything. But I think, like you said, Arnie, that was the first summer blockbuster. Kind of think paved its way to Star Wars, and ever since, there's no looking back on that. So, Steve, any thoughts about the looking up at people in the water and the poster and everything like that, and the movie in general? Talking here.
I mean, back when I first saw it, it was cool. Today, it's kind of lame for me, but
it's cool. I love it, but you know,
I mean, it just I like advancing with the times and the new graphics and the new modern everything. I'm not a traditionalist like Walt is from Mouse Talk, but so as things evolve, I evolve with them, and my taste evolves, and I don't know. It was, like I said, it was cool for back then. It's just not really.
And most stuff, I agree with you. And to me, I agree 100%, Steve. A lot of stuff does not stand the test of time. And this movie is borderline for me, but just I think the nostalgia and me think of it as a kid and me just loving the movie, it definitely stands the test of time for me. But I'd say I'd agree with you. And the more I hope, Steve, that things do stand the test of time. Mm-hmm. Well, how do you feel about Star Wars Episode 4? Does that stand the test of time?
Yes, it does. It's not always just because it's older, it's not as good anymore. Jaws was, like you said, borderline for me too. Whether it was something new for its time, but I'm not. If I got to choose between Jaws or anything new, pretty much I'm going to watch anything new. But I would watch Star Wars. Star Wars, of course, is something that'll stand the test of time forever. So Jaws just wasn't quite there.
Okay, that's cool. I respect that, because I feel that's a great point, though. That was a great point, Steve, because I feel that way about a lot of movies. And in my heart, like, you know, I think of stuff and everything. Like even the 3 Jaws sequels, it was so. Like even last year, I said I'm going to go watch them, and I never did. And then I kind of had to do my homework for the stream the other day, and I just watched them. And I'm like, oof, it was rough watching those movies.
Can we just repeat what's just been said? So Steve just said he doesn't think Jaws is going to stand the test of time.
I don't think it has.
You don't think it has?
As far as I'm talking about graphics and stuff.
It's his opinion. It's fine.
To Star Wars, no. Compared to Star Wars, absolutely not. I mean, Jaws is good, but if I was to show it to anybody that's never seen it today, they wouldn't like it. For people I know, they just wouldn't like it if they were seeing it for the first time. Now they don't know anything about Jaws. It's kind of like back when I had my VHS tapes and I heard about this thing called DVDs, and I said, "Oh, that's just a fad. That's never going to last." And then, of course, now there is good luck finding a VHS. It's kind of like that to me. It's, you know, people don't want to move on from it, but at the same time, in today's world, if somebody was watching for the first time, I really don't think they would like it. Just
Steve,
I struggle to think of it. Go on.
Can you help me figure out what these DVD things are?
Yes, they're going to be extinct soon too. Because I think we have this thing called Blu-ray or something.
Okay.
So, but yes,
Full disclosure, I have never owned a Blu-ray player.
oh, well, that's okay.
Like legit. I went straight from DVD to downloading stuff from Amazon.
That's fine.
Like yes.
You don't have a PlayStation?
Do not stick I'm an Xbox guy.
Then you don't have a
Same.
Blu-ray.
I do not have a Blu-ray.
What do you think, Bob? Do you think it stood the test of time, Joe's?
I like it. Yeah, I like those type of movies like Halloween, the original, because it's more the suspense and that's what gets you. Like now they're more into, hey, look, it's gore. You know, I don't like the gore.
Yeah, I agree. I
movies.
don't like that.
Yeah.
The original Halloween is a classic to me. Just like Jaws, the original, because Meg was good. It was a fun movie, but it wasn't Jaws.
It was too graphical in terms of the CGI, in terms of the Meg that you see. Yeah.
Somebody asked, this is a Chewini. This is Nelly.
Oh.
Hey, Nelly.
She's a long
Nelly,
way.
do you think Jaws stood the test of time? I don't know.
She doesn't like shorts at all. She says it makes too good of a snack.
That was a no.
Pepper.
You know my funniest story with Jaws, though, Rob?
Go ahead. Yeah, of course.
When I was in the Army in Seattle and Fort Lewis, they had the drive-in like you were talking about, and Batman Returns came out, and it was a double feature. The second movie was Jaws. So this is after, whatever we do in the Army, taking off, going there. The first movie starts. The next thing I know, I'm the last car in the parking lot.
For Jaws?
So through both of them.
Wait, what happened? I'm confused. What happened?
I went there to see Batman and Jaws.
Uh-huh.
The movie starts, yay! And next thing I know, both movies are over, and I'm the last car besides me is pulling out of the parking lot. So I missed it. So I have not seen Jaws in the theater or drive-in.
Oh.
Just like he was saying earlier, when you say cable, that kind of dates you because the only time you could watch anything different, everybody called it cable. Like now it could be Netflix, this and that, but we all call the old channels when we had Cinemax and HBO cable. So we'd see
crazy
it like my dad would be asleep and he'd leave the TV on and I'd watch it. That's how I saw Jaws.
It's kind of
That's
crazy.
probably the first time I saw it.
Cable
You
is.
guys call it cable. We call it satellite. We really.
I still call it. I still call that cable.
Yeah.
Just in general.
So do I.
Network versus cable.
In satellite's a dish you have to go on top of your house and spend 3 hours trying to point in the right direction.
See, the guys from Sky came and pointed the satellite for us in about 30 minutes. So yeah.
Isn't it storm there all the time? Do you always have no signal?
No, do you know what? It's very rare it's ever dropped out. Maybe a little bit in like 1990, but not so much now. Yeah, it's fine.
Technology's better now. Okay.
Yeah.
We stream everything.
I've been
cut the
planning on
cord years
canceling my
ago.
cable the entirety of this week, and I haven't called yet.
I
See,
cut the cord years ago. That's why we're so big on YouTube now. We just watch it all the time.
so to counter what was just being said, I still think this is the definitive shark movie. Unfortunately, like even though the graphics, I guarantee, I grant you're right in that. It looks old. It looks
Definitely
old.
looks old.
Watch it, especially
The cars.
but I think the thing that looks the oldest is the time period of the cars, the people, the hairdos that they wore, the clothes that they wore. It shows the period, obviously, that it was 1970s. I still think because it's not CGI heavy, and yes, I grant you there were problems with the shark, and it's not maybe 100% accurate with how a shark would be. There was a problem with the bite on the shark that they acknowledged. I still think what they did with the limited access they had to show the shark and the limited use of the shark they had, because the shark wouldn't work for half the film, it's actually less is more in this case. I think less is more, and it's given us a better picture for it. I think if you look at things like the Meg, Deep Blue Sea, things like that, there's obviously you've got a lot more access to the shark because of CGI, but it kind of ruins it in a lot of respects. I think the best horrors were in the 70s and 80s where there was a lot more suspense rather than cheap gore sort of jump scares and blood tricks. And if you just leave it to the audience suspense, I think there's nothing more scary than our own imaginations sometimes. You know, if you've got an active imagination, your own imagination is your own worst enemy, especially if you're even thinking about it, or if you are swimming in the ocean, you know, with nothing but you don't know what's below you, if that makes sense, you know. So
Definitely does.
I think because you don't see the sharks so much in this film, because when you do see it, it's as effective as it is, which I think it's effective in every single scene that you see it in, and because the rest is left to your own imagination, that's what makes this such a powerful movie. And no other movie has ever, and I don't think it will ever, stand up to this film. This film is now, what, 44 years old? 1975?
Like yeah.
44 years old, and there's yet to be a better shark movie. And I guarantee you, by the time it's 50 years old, there was still yet to be a better shark movie, because the way they shot
the combination of you don't see the land, it's the combination of the score, it's the combination of the great actors, it's the combination of the intense. It's just a combination of all the right things. I definitely agree.
So I don't think there's a, you know, when was it Steve that was saying, if I showed this to somebody now, apologies for one, Steve, but was it Steve? If I showed this to somebody now, I don't think it would stand up. And I completely disagree, I'm afraid, dude. You know, and I respect
you can disagree.
I respect your opinion, of course, but I just think, show me a better film about sharks. I don't see one out there, and I've watched a lot of them. I love shark films. It's a terrifying, morbid curiosity. But show me a better film that makes me more terrified of sharks. I don't think there is one.
And there may not be one, but I still don't think people today would like this movie if they were seeing it for the first time. I mean, in that regards, then there would still be no good shark movie if people were seeing it today for the first time.
Yeah.
I think it would be mixed. I think some would like it. What did your daughter think of it, Adam, when she saw it last year? I forget.
Ebony has seen it. It's funny because we went to the cinema last week to see Toy Story 4. And on Sunday, I came out, and it's funny because I saw a few friends from America were posting that they were going to watch Jaws in the movie theaters in America. And I was like, wow, it's back on. And then I noticed in our local cinema, it's back on this summer. I don't know why it's back on. It's not like it's a 50-year anniversary and it's 44 years, but it's back on this summer. And I was like, this is amazing. Jaws is back on in the cinema. I'm going to go and watch it in the cinema because why the hell not? I've seen the film 100 times and I'm going to go and watch it in the cinema because I love that film. And I said to Ebony, I said, do you want to come watch it? She was like, no, I don't like that film, because she is terrified of it. Especially the scene where Quint gets got. She was terrified. Even though, you know, I calmed her down and said, look, it's not real. It's just a film. It's not a real shark. It's, you know, it's just an actor, etc. I explained it to her. She's still terrified of that film. She still thinks it's harrowing. And she still has this morbid curiosity yet fear of sharks. I guess it's the unknown. You know, we talked about last night on the Disney Shark stream, which was a lot more lighthearted. You know, we talked about the idea of diving with sharks.
Disney sharks
So we talked about what you can do at Epcot and other places, you know, with the diving with sharks, which sounds amazing. But I dare say I would happily do that. Ebony would not entertain it in the slightest, because I think the idea of going in the water with sharks would just terrify her, you know, and I think Jaws is the thing that's done that.
Well, Joey's World brought up a good point. It says, I think if you showed Jaws to kids, they would never go into the water, just like us. And they brought on the fact that only because, unlike horror movies, this is a great point. Shark attacks happen all the time. Like, literally, I saw on the news, and she says here, a woman just died in the Bahamas from a shark attack. Like, so that's a reality. Like, I didn't see on the news that Michael Myers chopped up someone or Jason jumped out of the lake or whatever. But, you know, that's the weird reality of it. You know, it is, you know. People were even saying for Shark Week 3 we should talk about shark attacks and everything. I don't really enjoy talking about.
Yeah, exactly. That was a suggestion that came up last night. Is how different beaches around the world handle shark attacks, and it is a fascinating subject. It's not a nice subject to talk about.
Yeah.
but it's something that actually happens. You know, these Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street. That doesn't happen. People don't fall into some dream world and get cut up by.
I have an opinion. Sharks. Oh, there he goes.
But shark attacks do happen, and it's one of those things that, yes, they don't happen as much as Jaws portrays it in any way. You know, Jaws portrays an angry shark that just goes for the kill with everything that moves. I get that.
Yeah.
Which is not true to sharks.
Rob.
Sharks get a bad rep on that film unfairly, but shark attacks do happen, and it's terrifying because we as humans know that we're not the master species or the master race in that environment in the ocean. And if you go out on a surfboard or anything like that, you're a target, unfortunately.
I think
Rob,
Arnie has to go, Arnie.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's time for me to drop off. So
All right.
I'll see you a little bit.
I will see you tonight. I'm going to be on Pepper Tree Villa stream. Definitely check them out. Definitely check out Pepper Tree Villa. The link is below. Thank you so much, Artie, for coming in and talking about Jaws. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
Thanks, Arnie. See you.
Take care, buddy. Take care. Thank you.
Has anyone seen the restored version of it? Because Steve, even Kay was saying that 70s look is horrible in movies, but the 80s is worse. I agree 100%, Kay. You haven't seen the restored version, have you, Steve?
Do you mean like digitally remastered?
Yeah, they just kind of remastered it like 2 years ago.
No, I haven't.
That was a cool thing about Star Wars, and I'll tell you what, maybe I maybe would give it another chance and watch this. It definitely looks dated with the costumes, the outfits and the haircuts and everything, but they restored this version. It looks like they made this movie in the past 15, 20 years, believe it or not. That's how good this restored
To
is.
be clear, I'm not saying it's a bad movie at all. It's
I understand.
It's a really good movie. It's just not like, for me, one of the most iconic movies that I've got to rush out. Like, it's playing in a theater about an hour away from here. I'm not going to go watch it, but I just don't think today's kids, if they watch Star Wars, they're going to continue to watch Star Wars. They love it. Jaws, I really just don't think they'll do it. I don't know.
That's fair.
Just my opinion, but I still like the movie. I think it's a good movie.
Right. I hear you.
Well, I think you're going to find that anyways. There's been movies in the past that I loved and I showed my kids, and they're like, "This is stupid."
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Though it falls.
It's our generation. It's always gonna be one of our movies.
Exactly.
See, It's Joey's World has just said in the book, Jaws is a pregnant female who is ravenous due to her condition and aggressive to stake her birthing area. That's such an interesting point because it's not added to any of the movie storylines. In any of the 4 movies, there is no context there as to why the shark is so angry and so intent on eating anything that moves. So I kind of wish they'd included that. That's maybe one downside to any of the movies, including Jaws, which I don't think can do any wrong with the original film. But yeah,
In the book also Hopper slept with the sheriff's wife.
What's that, sorry?
In the book, the Hopper, Richard Dreyfuss character, slept with the sheriff's wife, with Brody's wife.
I didn't know that.
I gotta read this book.
Yeah, that's a.
Has anyone read the book?
I read it 20 years ago.
Well, I'm guessing it's Joey's World has, because he's obviously thrown up facts from the book. But yeah, I mean, for the shark fact at least, that's a very interesting fact, and it's a shame that's not included in any of the films because that little bit of context as to why there's a demented shark in the area that wants to kind of eat everything that moves would kind of help. In terms of, we were talking about obviously the sequels on Tuesday's stream, and the more you delve into the sequels, the more and more utterly ridiculous they become. And it kind of all ties back to the first film. It all ties back to a shark that's just hell-bent on eating anything that goes into the water. And as I think Kay pointed out in that stream, allegedly, we don't taste nice to sharks. I don't know who's told them that. Yeah, I don't know who's told people that. Apparently, some shark has obviously, decided it's able to converse and tell us its preferences of delicacy.
What was the other thing?
And humans are not. We don't taste like chicken. Apparently,
the sharks' babies eat each other too. What was that, Adam? Remember that?
Oh yeah. There was apparently sharks, when they get pregnant, they have up to 4 babies in the womb, and then the babies eat each other until only one survives. And then one is given birth to. So yeah, it's like, hurry up and eat your brother. Is what's going on in there, which is kind of scary and crazy.
Bringing that point full circle, the writer Peter Benchley, I think him and his wife were actually huge shark advocates. They were I think they were upset in the end that this movie, I guess not necessarily the book, but as it spawned and made a movie, and the movie kind of scared people with sharks and everything. And I think they were.
But why wouldn't it? It's a horror film about a shark.
Yeah, but I think they were very disappointed about that.
Yeah, you cannot be upset about making a film about a killer.
Yeah, but I don't think they weren't upset. Obviously, they made all that money. Yeah, but I think in the end, I think the after effects, they were upset about, the way people perceive sharks and everything. And I think they had a love for sharks, believe it or not. And they wanted to show sharks in a reality, I guess.
Yeah, and it is fair to say that sharks did get a bad rep off this film. Shark attacks are a lot less frequent than certainly one movie makes out it to be, let alone 4 movies of it.
Brody's got attacked like 15 times by sharks. So
yeah, it's.
I would walk out my house and the pool next door is going to jump out and kill me. So
the one thing is, unfortunately, shark attacks do happen, but
they're rare though.
That's not on sharks. That's on humans putting themselves in their environment. Unfortunately, it's the same as if you went strolling across some sort of African plain. You might get attacked by a lion or a hyena or something like that. If you put yourself in that situation, it's possible that it would happen. It's not inevitable, but it's possible.
Is it a liger?
And say again, sorry.
Will we get attacked by a liger?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, by a liger. Yes, why not?
Over the last decade, there's been an average of 84 shark attacks globally. Just 84 a year globally. 34 of those are provoked. So it's not like they're just coming out of nowhere to attack you. And then of all that, there's also only an average of 6 fatal attacks a year. So, and I'm not talking about just the United States. That's globally. So they don't happen that often.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Because who was it who said there in the? It was Bob before, I think, who said shark attack capital or shark bite capital. Is that correct?
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not going to argue with you on this at all. But I always assumed South Africa was the place that had the most prevalent shark attacks. That's where you hear a lot of them, and Australia as well has.
I think you hear more about those because the people die because they're bigger sharks. Here, we just get a lot of people. You can have some weeks where there's 3 or 4 shark bites.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. But if it's just shark bites, but nothing
smaller
happens. Yeah. Okay. That's But yeah, it's a terrifying thought. I wouldn't want to lose some flesh, let alone Yeah. I mean, like obviously the shark attack death is the pinnacle and the scary thought, but even like you say, just a small.
Have you ever seen a good-looking shark bite? You don't, because they're horrible.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. No, what? Yeah, you wouldn't. I'm sure.
Yeah, it was funny you said that because they had that story about that girl who died in the Bahamas, and they were interviewing someone else, and man, it was just so sad, like her arm and how mutilated she looks. But this is Bob's coming from a state too where they have rampant alligators too. So, okay, Steve, here's a stat for Steve. I love when Steve looks this stuff up. What has more fatalities, alligator attacks or shark attacks?
Alligator attacks. I'll tell you how many there are in just a minute.
Love when he does his facts. So.
Wow.
How often do you hear about alligator? Just a little off subject there, Bob. How often do you hear about alligator attacks down?
I guess it would depend on how much I watch the news, and I hardly watch it. So,
true story. They found a 4-foot alligator in the river behind our house on Monday.
Oh wow!
In Pennsylvania.
That's crazy. You think someone just dumped them there?
Yeah, totally a pet.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but the video was on Face page.
Hey, Stacy, welcome.
Nice, Derek.
Yeah. And there's like 3 or 4 in Pittsburgh at this point in the rivers. So
not even close. It's shark attacks. There's only been 17. Well, this is just in Florida. There's been 17 fatal attacks in Florida since 1948. So it says that no, maybe not. There have been 337 alligator attacks in Florida since 1948. So
how many shark attacks in Florida does it say?
Then saying shark attacks, Florida. There's only 84 globally shark attacks, but only 6 fatalities here. There's a lot more alligator attacks, but the fatalities are much less. So there's more attacks by alligators, but less fatalities.
Okay.
Stacy says, so I'm late to the stream and I haven't been able to make another stream this week. So no worries, Stacy. Life gets in the way. That's fine. But have we talked about the fact that Jaws was based on a true story? I wasn't aware of that.
We have not, but it was in Jersey,
Wow. Okay.
wasn't it?
It's based on some loose stories, I believe. But yeah, I think you're right.
There was.
I was going to say
were-
it must be very loosely based on.
There were like 2 shark attacks in the same summer. One in the river.
Wow.
Oh, right. It was because of a river. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they believe it was a bull shark, not a great white.
I remember my summer of 2001. 2001 in Cape May in New Jersey, and it was like a 2-minute bike ride or a 10-minute walk to the beach. So when I was working in the restaurant or the hotel that I worked in, every shift I got off, I was down on the beach. I was bodyboarding. I was having a great time. Really, really good, fun summer. But I remember being on the beach one day, and a bit like Amityville, it was, you can tell Cape May is a town that is made for the summer season. People are going to come enjoy the beach. It gets really, really busy
Amity,
there.
not Amityville. That's another story.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Amityville
That's a
Horror,
different one.
yeah. So,
It was.
which is
Yeah.
actually near my house, and I've actually seen the Amityville Horror House, by the way. So.
oh, really? Okay, yeah. But yeah, so Cape May is made to be like Amity. Yeah, it's made to be this fun summer beach resort, whatever. And I remember being on the beach one day, and I went up to one of the lifeguards and I said, has there ever been shark attacks? They said, yes, there has. I said, when was the last one? They said, not for, and I can't remember how many years they said, but it was a long time. It was decades. It was decades. So it was kind of reassuring. But I remember we crept into the late summer. The season had kind of petered out. There wasn't people coming to the beach anymore. And I remember going down to the beach one day. I went to catch a couple of waves. I sat there on the beach with my girlfriend, and out at sea, I did see a sudden thrashing about and it was like, oh, yeah, because the only things that thrash about when they catch things are sharks. And I was like, wow. And you could see it. You could actually see it. It wasn't all that far out, but it was further out than I would have gone on my bodyboard by all means, but it was close enough to see as well. It was scary because all of the stuff in Cape May as well, there was a lot of shark t-shirts, a lot of shark towels, shark attire, like you'd kind of get in a beach resort. But it was almost like they were living on the whole sort of Jaws thing. Not with any mention of the movie, certainly, but it was almost like they were living on the whole come to our beach by the way. It was great. It was I loved it personally.
No, this is Cape May Cafe, the restaurant.
No, this is Cape May, the town in New Jersey.
I'm kidding. My bad.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I don't know what the Cape May Cafe is. But,
Swing and a miss.
All right, guys. This has been a good talk.
I'll apologize for not understanding that one. So,
No, it's all good.
Go first here for me. So, Steve, I'm going to wrap it up here. So, tell any final thoughts on Jaws?
No, just to reiterate, it was a good movie. I'm not saying that at all.
No, it's cool. I get it. I like that you took that stand. It's cool.
It's just it was revolutionary at its time. I just don't think it would stand the test of time today. I think it would fall into
watch it again. Come back. I want you to watch it again with the restored version.
I will.
Between now and September.
See, you got to remember too, acting is better now.
Yeah.
The graphics are better now. They used a mechanical shark, and they were even so worried that you could tell it was a mechanical shark that Spielberg said, let's just barely show it. The rest of it's going to be those shadows and things like that. So, it's just, I don't know. I just don't think it is that superb. Like Wizard of Oz will stand the test of time forever. Star Wars forever. Jaws, I don't know. But that doesn't mean I don't like it, though. I just don't think it's like one of the greatest movies ever made.
Okay. Tell us about Steve's World. Give a little plug here.
Yeah, I honestly don't know what we're doing next, but I'm in the middle of 8 streams in 8 days. on different channels. And I still have my 1,000 subscriber giveaway to do. It'll probably be next week when all this calms down. And even though we had it several weeks ago, but I will get it done. So, and then we'll be on Pepper Tree again tonight. And then Saturday sports night with my other partner channel, Mouse Talk.
Cool. Derek, DG Explorers. What was that?
I thought Derek was fishing.
Oh, no, he's there. It was cool. It looked like he was fishing. Gregory,
No, we have the last minute. They're ending the show, Greg. So jump on if you're going to jump on.
Are they?
Yes.
Hi, Greg.
He's getting his headset together. Oh, and I got my cat. He's now trying to give me a bath.
Nice.
Everything's falling apart here.
Hey, Gregory, what's going on, brother?
We Jaws. Last thoughts. One of the things about it is, no matter, we talked about test of time, and I can see where you're going with that, Steve. But every shark movie that comes out is still compared to Jaws. Meg, which is one of the new movies, they always compare it to Jaws. I think in a lot of cases, like I watch a lot Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I just think the way they filmed it, that the style, even though it's an old movie and it doesn't compare to the alien technology that they show now, to me it does stand the test of time. But I mean, obviously, I'm from that generation. Right. But I think if a movie's always being compared to movies that are being released and it's 44 years of old, it had to, for some length of time, stood up to the test of time.
Okay, tell us about. Hey, Greg, what is your thoughts on Jaws in general?
I didn't really like the first one too much, although I haven't seen it in a while. Okay. I kind of like the second one more. I think that was my favorite one out of all four of them, just because it had more action and there was more going on. I think the first one kind of was a little slow, especially towards the end. But the second one really picked it up and everything for me anyway. So I'm surprised they haven't made a remake for it yet of Jaws.
I hope they never do.
We could take the Meg as the remake, I guess. But that was, that was a fun ride of a movie as well. So
I'm in the middle of watching it tonight.
Disney just announced Jaws 5 in 2027.
Oh God!
Are you serious?
No, I'm kidding. Sorry.
First of all, it's not Disney, but
I was going to say it's a Universal film for starters.
Yeah.
So guys, tell us about DG Explorers.
Well, we've been doing mainly just live shows. We do Wednesday night at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern. We rotate between Disney shows and cruise shows. We like to have other
cruise
channels.
show yesterday.
Cruise shows, yes, we had. It's kind of interesting. We always get confused because we had.
There it is, Dave. Listen to this.
We had Dave and Brandy's excursions on our shows.
Isn't it Brandy and Dave?
And this is Brandy and Dave out here.
Oh, so it's Dave and Brandy.
Yeah,
okay.
So it's really cool. And you guys both recently went over 1,000 about the same time. So congratulations on that.
We also went live 30 seconds apart. One day.
Yeah, so so we like to do alternate. We like to have channels. This is our second year of YouTubing. We want to give it back, pay forward. That was our goal this year, is to thank everyone who thanked us and grow our channel. We want to have other channels join us. So definitely look out for that. We're reaching out to other channels. It's fun. It's fun, great meeting the community, the Disney community, the cruising community, and also sharing them with you guys too.
And my official channel sponsor. These guys are here. Thank you guys for being my sponsor.
You're welcome.
Very cool. Dave and Brandy, tell me about your. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Brandy and Dave, tell me about your channel.
Wrong channel.
Was that intentional?
So we do cruises, and I don't know what else. It's not true. None of that is true. So what are
Shark Week videos for Dave this week?
Oh, lots of shark talk this week. Dissing that last night was fun, funny, and then crazy.
I wish I could have watched that, but I had to go to sleep.
Yeah, the replay is worth it. You can skip the first 2 hours.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to, but
what was
it want to get
too? But when Brandy comes into it, it gets real.
Yeah, fun. It gets real fun real quick. Anywho, what else do we got going on? We got a trip coming up to the Walt Disney World shortly, which means we have a bunch of vlogs that we have to finish, and as soon as we're off here, I got to go edit one. So hopefully it's done. Hopefully it's up tomorrow. And we got some stuff leading into the weekend. Isn't that next week, July 3rd, the night before the big night? Did we announce it, Steve? Did we announce what we're talking about? It's up?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So we are talking about the monorail crawl. So we're going to hit all of the lounges and such and what our favorite libations and snacks are on all the monorail resorts. So that's what we got going on next week. Other than that, it's a whole bunch of Disney. It's Disney summer, and looking forward to August for standing in line for Galaxy's Edge. So line stream is going to be a blast. Rob, thanks for having me on, man. This was fun. Some good times as always.
Are you going to be?
Are you here tomorrow, Steve and Dave? I don't know if you're here tomorrow or not, but
what's that?
I am unsure.
Okay. Let me know.
Dave,
tomorrow.
There's beer involved. Go in.
You start at 4 tomorrow, Rob?
Yes, it's early, but I don't think you can make it before. Right?
I'll see what happens.
All right, very good.
Yes.
Of course, Bob. Oh, I'm sorry, Dave.
Oh,
Is
no,
there
you're
anything
good. I'm done. Nope, I'm good.
I hope you can make it tomorrow too. So Bob and Ashley.
Yeah, I probably can't make it tomorrow, Rob.
That's cool. I understand.
Because
Yeah,
that's our warehouse day.
Yeah, that is my time slot on Friday. So I figured we'd just take my usual slot where I do Frankie Friday and Pub Talk. So it is a Pub Talk. So, but
I think that's usually when we're heading over to Orlando now. So we usually listen to it.
Okay, cool. 1 second, Dave. Any final thoughts on Jaws? I forgot to ask you that part. Sorry about that. What am I doing?
It's a good movie. I should probably watch it. I haven't watched it in years, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that restored version, it's like, wow, that could have been made in the last 20 years, the restored version. It doesn't look like a 40-something-year-old movie. I definitely recommend it. And definitely recommend the Shark is Still Working, too. So, documentary.
I do need to watch that. That needs to go on the list.
Very cool. And no other thoughts on Jaws? Final thoughts there? You're good.
There's a shark, and I'm glad it doesn't levitate. So,
I'm sorry, Bob. Bob and Ashley. Bob, tell us your final thoughts on Jaws before you tell me about Bob and Ashley.
I like the movie. I think it does stand the test of time because obviously everything that comes out until there's a better movie gets compared to that one. Will people now look at it and say, we're talking about millennials and different type of people now, so it might not be their type of movie, which I'm fine with. I like the movie. I like the classic ones like Halloween, Jaws, all the suspense movies, the ones that were really suspenseful.
Okay.
It's my type of movie.
Shep is in the house. Shep, we're just wrapping it up, buddy. But how you doing, buddy?
Hold on a second. I made it.
What's your thoughts on Jaws, Shep? Final thoughts.
Final thoughts on Jaws.
Have you been watching the stream? I don't know if you're watching or not. So.
What's not to say about Jaws? It's a classic.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I love Jaws. I love the original. I'm not sorry I'm walking. My wife stole the computer on me, so I'm using my cell phone. So but yeah, I like the original. 2, 3, and 4 weren't the best for me, but final thoughts is go see it.
That's good.
Go see it like it's 1975.
Oh, you can actually go see it because he said earlier, it is playing in the theaters this summer.
Yes.
That's amazing. My final thoughts, go see it.
Fantastic. Hi, Shep.
We did a lot of this and that and everything, so definitely check out the Shep family too. All right, Bob, I'm coming back to you. Tell us about Bob and Ashley, the channel. I love the channel.
Yeah, we're just like a fledgling travel vloggers. That's all we are. I wish we were travel vloggers. If I could, I'd be like on a cruise every 2 weeks or going somewhere. But since we can't do that because of life, we vlog all the other stuff we do, which is basically mostly Disney. And it was Universal up until last week. We let our passes expire because we just didn't have as much fun at Universal as we did at Disney.
Not renewing it, huh?
And this weekend, if you're in the Disney area, we'll be at Yeehaw Bob's show Saturday night at 8:30. So there's a few people going to be going there now, so get there early if you want to see. If you haven't seen them.
All right, definitely check out all these channels, Bob and Ashley's channel. Check out all these guys. And Adam, bring it home to you. Bring it home, Adam. 3 minutes to talk about Jaws. Your final thoughts, and then talk about the channel.
Best shark movie ever. It still is. I'm sorry. Yeah, I disagree with Steve. Steve, I respect your opinion, of course.
I respect yours as well, buddy.
But yeah, it's I think the beauty of Jaws is not seeing the shark. It's the suspense. Yeah, we don't see sharks every day in real life. You know, it's always the fear. And this film helped to create that fear, obviously. You know, you go swimming, a lot of people won't go swimming in the sea now because they are terrified of what's below them. It's what you don't see that makes you terrified. And that was the beauty of this film. It's what you didn't see for the first 2/3 of it. And when you did see it, it was effective enough. You know, it's not a levitating shark like you see in Jaws 4. It's not a clever science buffing shark like you see in the Deep Blue Sea. It's not a overinflated shark like you see in the Meg. You know, it's so effective. It's there and it's great. Love Jaws. 44 years on, still no shark movie has beaten it. I dare say by the time we get to 50 years on, still no shark movie will beat it. Maybe even 60 years on, still no shark movie will beat it. That's my prediction.
And a remake of the movie would be a disaster.
If anybody remade the movie, I'd shoot them. So because it does not need remaking. I would be so upset if somebody tried to remake that movie, and I think it would be the poor movie for it. I think the remake would be terrible. You know, less is more in this case. So yeah, definitely Jaws, fantastic movie. All the struggles and troubles they went through, to make this film, made it completely worthwhile. The definitive summer blockbuster. So there you go.
Talk about Adam's Land too before we end here.
Talk about Adam's Land. Okay, so hey, welcome to Adam's Land. Now, if you didn't catch it, go and check out the streams. I did 2 streams on Sunday night, which was a Toy Story 4 spoiler-free review. Ebony and I watched Toy Story 4. We loved it. So we talk about it without giving anything away. So if you've not yet seen the movie, don't worry, we're not going to spoil anything for you. But yeah, go check that out. There's also a special announcement in that as to our future plans. And then I did my Download Festival and Metallica review, my week of rockening, where I thought I was maybe 15 years younger than I am and decided to go rock out for a long time. For a week, I suffered as a result. It was great fun, though. I wouldn't have changed it. I would do it again tomorrow. In fact, I was sat there in the meeting today, in the 1-hour meeting that I went to, sat there thinking, 2 weeks ago, I was sat at Donington drinking beer and barbecuing and having a great time. And I kind of wish I was doing that again. Yeah, it was a great time. I can't wait for next year's Download Festival.
Do it again, huh? All right, cool.
Yeah, I've done it 20 years on the bounce. Not Download, but like a festival 20 years on the bounce. I'll probably do it again next time. And stay tuned for more stuff because Ebony and I are getting excited about future plans and we're going to film some more stuff. Stay tuned. We're coming soon.
Adam's Land, Ebony's little channel, Bob and Ashley, Brandy and Dave, D&G Explorers, the Shep family here, Steve's World. Someone in the chat wanted me to introduce everyone here, so definitely all their links are below. Definitely check them out. Thank you guys so much for coming. It's a lot of fun. I love Jaws. I watch it every year. I definitely love the history of it. I didn't like the sequels growing up. I kind of don't like. Well, I loved 3 when I was a kid. Looking back on it, those definitely don't stand the test of time. Speaking of don't stand the test of time, so. But I had fun, guys. Thank you so much. Shark Week continues tomorrow, 4 o'clock. We're talking about Disney. Sharks. No, we did that already. I'm just kidding. We're talking about the no, we did that already. What was that? Oh, you ready? Disney Sharks.
Disney Sharks. Disney Sharks.
Such a bad parody. There we go. I love it, Dave. No, of course.
Sharks like this now, right?
Way do run away.
Tomorrow, 4 o'clock Eastern Time, RobFuz, the last final episode of Shark Week 2, The Revenge. Thank you guys so much for coming. Tomorrow, 4 o'clock. shark-inspired movies, come join us at Pub Talk, our second Pub Talk of the week. And again, thank you so much, Adam. Thank you for coming on. Always fun. Bob, thank you so much. Definitely check out Bob. Dave, thank you so much, buddy. Derek,
Of course, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, buddy. Thanks, Derick and Gregory. Dilly, thanks for being a sponsor.
Dilly.
Shep, thanks for popping in here. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Of course, Steve's World, the marathon continues. I will see you later. Oh, I think Shep's coming on too, right? So we're going on.
As long as I get my computer back.
Okay, Pepper Tree Villa later on. We'll be there tonight, 10 o'clock. Pepper Tree Villa. The link's below. We'll be on their link talking about our Disney stuff. Now we get off the stream. I gotta go collect all my stuff because it's not really in one place. So I'll be gathering that stuff. So I'll see you guys later at 10 o'clock. Pepper Tree Villa. Check those guys out. And everyone here, check out the links below. Thank you guys so much. Shark Week continues tomorrow, 4 o'clock. Pub Talk for shark-inspired movies. I don't know if we could talk more about stuff, but if we could talk 2 hours about Disney sharks, we could talk another hour about shark-inspired movies. So thank you guys so much. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Later.
My Shark Week shirt, too. I'm going to wear it tomorrow, too. I'm going to change again, so I'll be wearing it tomorrow. Thanks, everyone. Take care.